Hello and welcome to another video on the version 6 Accura and AccuraOnline releases. So what I'm going to focus on in this video session is AccuraOnline version 6. So this is quite a groundbreaking major release for us, because not only have we improved on some of the existing features, but we've added a whole new diverse range of features to cover a B2C environment. So previously AccuraOnline has been a B2B only portal, that is business to business. So in essence what that means is that the user requires a login before they can continue on to actually generate any transactions on the site. So what I'm looking at here is a demo site that I've created for a fictitious company called EasyPrint, and this is currently configured as a B2B site. That is, we have to either register or log in to access the site, and outside of that all we can really do is browse information, go to a contact us page, go to a page perhaps with some artwork guidelines about what files we accept and so on, an about us page and so on. So what we're going to do is we're going to convert this to a B2C site, and in doing so I'm going to highlight some of those new features. But before I do that, I'm just going to show you some of the new improved features that you have in this release that will not only affect B2C but also B2B as well. So let's kick off with those first. So I'm going to log in as a user. So click on login, and I'm going to log in as a customer of EasyPrint called 123 Software. And when I log in this particular instance, it's going to reskin the site for me. So I've done a branded portal for 123 Software that carries their logo, has a different color scheme, it can have different wording, it can have different slides, it can have different menus and all kinds of things. So the feature I'm going to show you in at this time is in the store. So we've made a few changes in the store to streamline it and make it a little bit quicker to order. And what that is you can now calculate your price and add to basket from directly in the store without having to go into the product page. So previously I would have to go into the business card page, and I would see my images, I can zoom in and so on. I would see how many were in stock if it was a stock item, and I would have either an add to basket or a calculate button depending on whether it was a price list product or a live calc product. This one is a live calc, so by hitting calculate it will communicate with Accura, it will work out the pricing on that particular quantity for this particular customer, return a price, and then from here I can add to basket. So what's changed is if I go back to the store, you'll see that all of my calculation and add to basket options are actually in the store itself, which makes it much quicker for me to add multiple items to the basket. So I can just select my quantity, add to basket, and that will add that item to the basket. Then I can move on to the next one, the next one, the next one. So hopefully you'll see from that this makes the whole shopping experience that much smoother and quicker for the customer. Moving on from that, another feature I'm going to show you is under proofing. We've always had the proofing options where we can, let's say, go into a proof and we can see our file that we're checking. We can download that file to our desktop, but what we haven't had is the ability to re-upload it. So your customer will make his changes in whatever software package he chooses. That's outside of the remit of AccuraOnline. But what you need him to be able to do is re-upload the annotated proof so that you get those changes back, and we don't have to revert to emails and file transfer systems and so on. So what we've added now is the attachments feature. So having downloaded his original file, so let's just do that now as an example. I'm now going to open that in my native PDF reader, and if he has a full copy of Acrobat, then he can make sticky notes and annotations and amendments to this. So once he's done that, he's going to want to get those back to you. So what he would do is go to the attachments tab here, and he would reattach the amended proof. So let's imagine this is the annotated proof, and he's going to re-upload that, and then he's going to give you his decision on whether to reject or you to make the changes and proceed. So I'm going to say modify and proceed. So basically he's instructing us to make the changes that he's annotated and then carry on with the job. So the job is a go. Otherwise he could reject it, and he needs to provide notes. So please make changes as per annotations in red. So what that's going to do now is it's going to re-upload his annotated artwork. It's going to synchronize that back into Accura. The proof is then going to change status, so his outstanding proof will disappear from this list here. Likewise, the order will change status from on hold back to active, and it will also automatically email your studio and inform them that the order has now been signed off, and it will attach his annotated artwork to that email. So the studio and everybody else is all kept in the loop, and everybody knows what they should be doing. So that really is quite a powerful addition to the whole proofing workflow scenario there. Okay, moving on to another new feature that will be beneficial for both B2C and B2B. If I go into my account, I now have this address book feature. So already, and for some time, Accura will have synchronized out all the offices for a client to the web. So if I come into my 123 client in Accura, you'll see this. So select the client, click on my offices toolbar button, and you'll see I have all of these offices present up to number 6 and so on. So they're already set up in the Accura database and already synchronizing outwards quite happily with AccuraOnline. But what up until now your customer has not been able to do is manage those addresses himself. So what if you've got an address wrong? What if he wants to add a new address? How does he do that? Previously this wasn't possible, and now it is. So there's all the addresses, as we can see. He wants to add a new address, and we've integrated with Google so that all he needs to do is start typing the address, and it will narrow it down to a list of selections. So if I say I don't know, 12 White Tree, it's now showing me all the addresses that match that, and I'm going to go with White Tree Road, Bristol, and it then populates the rest of the address for him. So it's got that predictive nature to the address. He would give this address a code, so for him he might call it Bristol office, and he might want to use a different company name for that. So there may be trading divisions of the same company, and he wants to actually put in the company name as well. I'll just call it Bristol office. Click add, and that will now add that to his address book. So here it is down here. Now in just a few seconds that should synchronize into Accura. So you can see here it currently isn't listed, but if I refresh this page, it's now synchronized that data directly into Accura and linked it to the parent client record. So you'll now see that all of those details have been populated and you haven't had to do anything. So this is a really good tool because it means that he can self-manage his own list of addresses, which is the kind of thing you'd expect on a lot of e-commerce websites. Okay, there's just a couple more things I want to show you in this release. So I'm going to log in as the administrator. And one of the things we've added in the admin area is the ability to define a landing page, a default landing page. So we've done this in two ways. The first is through the security profiles. So security profiles define the permissions that users have access to. So things like, can they access proofs, can they access the store, can they do quotes, and so on. Now therefore, by definition, for one security profile there would be a group of users, and you can define a default landing page for those users up here, so that anyone within that group will land on, say, the proofs area first, or the store, and so on. So that's the first place you can define this, and the second place you have is the user account itself. So you can override this for a particular user. So let's go into client accounts and let's edit Alan's account. So for Alan, we can say use the landing page from the profile, which is the default, or we can change just Alan's user account to use a different landing page. So we've got a kind of global default, and then we've got an individual user setting if we need to use that. Okay, so coming back to the dashboard, another new feature we've added in this release is a new theme. The theme is called Abstract, and it uses a completely different menuing system from all the other themes. So the current themes we have are modern, basic, and minimal, and Abstract has been added on top of that. Now all of the first three, they use this horizontal bar menu. But Abstract is quite different. It uses a pull-out menu, a little bit like an app on a phone, which you may have seen. So the menu actually expands and contracts to suit. So I'm going to change my theme to Abstract just so that I can show you this. Okay, so you'll notice the header is different. It's quite a simplified header. It doesn't have a menu bar whatsoever. Everything else looks fairly standard at this point. So let's just log out and have a look at this theme in action. So here we can see the new Abstract theme in action. It's using a narrower image carousel. We've still got our tiles. These ones have round corners because this theme uses a lot of circles. So we've gone for round cornered buttons, round cornered tiles, round icons for phone, fax, and email. So it's quite a nice compact theme. Icons up the top here are also rounded, and this is my menu. Now you'll see these three lines a lot on mobile phone apps. It basically means click here to expand the menu. So you'll see the menu come out from the side. It has the social media links on it, and it has expandable areas, so we can click on the top level menu and it shows us the options for that menu, and we can close the menu as well. So the nice thing about this theme is it scales really well. It adapts to tablets and mobiles really nicely. So if I just reduce the size of my browser window here, you'll see it's scaled the image carousel, it's reduced the number of tiles across the page to 2, and so on. So as we go down even further, you'll see how it's now adjusted for mobile devices. So it really is quite a nice modern theme. However, it does rely on the user being familiar with the concept of a pull-out menu. So if your users aren't very web literate and don't use apps a lot, they may not realize that this is their menu because it's not branded across the top like the other themes. So hopefully you'll see that's a really nice addition to the set of options. We will be expanding the themes one by one, but there's quite a lot of flexibility already, because even when you've declared a theme, you can change the header and you can change the carousel and you can change the footer style as well. So you can do like mix and match themes quite easily. I'm going to wrap this video up here, because the next video I'm going to do is going to cover all of the B2C specific functionality. So we're going to continue on from where I just leave off here, but I'm going to break this up so the video doesn't get too long. So thanks for watching, and have a look out for the B2C video that's going to follow.